You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowing like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look up better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the 5th part of What If Naruto Meets Flash? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of pyrohelixdrago on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Whirlpool Industries. You need to see this, Carla. Kushina said as she showed Caitlyn's mother the live feed that was already on YouTube right now. Carla Tannhauser looked at the video and her eyes flashed blue for a moment. You still you? Kushina asked curiously. Yeah, we're both just mad that our daughter is being held captive. Should I tell her? Carla asked. I swear, what is it like being two separate beings but are still together? Kushina asked as Carla was given a formula her husband used, but instead of two separate beings they were sometimes separate but mostly fused. It's pretty easy when you get used to it. Blizzard isn't a handful as she used to be. Carla said as one of her eyes became brown. How did Caitlyn not materialize these powers as a child? Kushina asked as she and Minato were her doctors and did regular checkups. She did, but hers was a separate personality. Trauma and suppressed memories put her other down into the recesses of her mind, and her body could only let her out in certain instances. Unleashing the personality is like a muscle, the more it's done the easier it is. Carla said as every time she used her powers the easier they became. So what's stopping her from coming out during that? Kushina asked, thinking of what Caitlyn must be feeling or thinking right now, being held captive by those two. She doesn't seem stressed enough or have enough adrenaline running through her to unleash her personality. Carla said as Caitlyn needed a jumpstart after not using her other self. I just hope they can rescue her. Kushina said, having faith in her son. You always have to be the hero, she thought as she knew that was why Caitlyn wasn't scarred. Who? Carla asked curiously. Oh right, you don't know my bad. Kushina said, rubbing the back of her head nervously. CCPD. Today is the day, Barry. Naruto said as people would finally know they exist. Let's just go. Barry said seriously as they got into their suits and ran to the street. Hello Flash, Godspeed. Snart said as he and Mick were in the middle of the street. Any preference on how you want to die? The flame or the frost? He asked. You must be very dumb to fight us both. Naruto said angrily as Cisco radioed him. I wouldn't say dumb, I just want to knock the high and mighty god off his high horse. His sidekick is just a bonus. Snart said with a smirk. I'm no god, it's just in the name. Naruto said with a smirk. No. You can call down the lightning like Zeus, run with the speed of Mercury. You even hurt Superman. You are a god and you don't even know it. Snart said as he did his research. He does have a point, you are basically a god. Barry said, voicing his opinion. See, even he agrees. You have the powers of a god and nothing in this world can stop you, except this little gizmo. Snart said, remembering how cold can hurt them. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. How long until you give in to the temptation that power brings? It's basic human nature, he said with a smirk. Only if you let it. Naruto said firmly. Wow, you really are a stiff, and here I thought you were some crazy overpowered guy who was very immature and slightly stupid. Snart said with a smirk. Go back a decade and you might be right, Naruto said firmly. Why have him, why have a partner? You could own this city, gather every single criminal in the blink of an eye, but you don't. Does the mighty Godspeed actually want danger in his city? Because you can't be a superhero without a criminal to stop, right? Snart asked him. I may like the thrill and butt kicking, but I can't be everywhere at once. I'm a man with extraordinary powers, not a god, Naruto said firmly. You are not a man, you are a god. Only gods can harm another, so where does that leave us, the mortals that you gods look down upon? Snart asked. Are you scared of him, Snart? Barry asked with a smirk. You can just run and find me or even my sister and kill us like that. We mortal men have always been afraid of gods bringing their wrath down upon us. Snart said. You think I would go around killing people? Naruto asked curiously. I think power defines this world, the more you have the more you can do. And who in this giant world has more power than you, Godspeed? Who is your equal, who is the one that gives you fear? No one, as no one is your equal in any way, nobody is a match for you. You could kill us all if you wanted. Snart said. Enough talking, more burning. Mick said, shooting his gun. Barry and Naruto sped forward and punched them and took their guns. See, this is exactly my point, nothing is a match for you, you are a god and nobody is safe from you. Snart said as Naruto stood over him. I try to be a hero and you may think you're stopping the next coming of something you're afraid of, but I'll never fall into the darkness, Naruto said with a glare. Mere words, all of this, we are nothing to you. Merely ants you haven't stepped on yet. Everyone is afraid of you, Godspeed, because you are the most powerful man on this planet, stronger than Superman. You just haven't snapped yet, but you will. You will, we all do. Snart said. When the F did you get so biblical, man? Naruto said as he was tired of this wordplay and Leonard was scaring him. When I realized how little my life can be, when there are beings of such great power that they can kill someone like me as easy as they take a breath. When I realized just how dangerous this world can be for my sister. Snart said, making Naruto worry. Who attacked you? Talk. No way you turned out this way. Naturally you believe too much in yourself. Naruto said firmly. Ah, you care about me. Snart said deishly. Now that I believe. Naruto said as this was more Leonard's behavior. Metamorpho sends a message, Snart said, making Naruto freeze. Naruto looked into his eyes, seeing just how Metamorpho put fear into Leonard. He threatened Lisa. Snart, your sister, didn't he? He asked as Metamorpho. Yes. Snart said as Metamorpho went on and on about what Godspeed was capable of, and when he heard them it sounded like abilities given by God himself. I need to find this guy, Naruto said as the cops took Leonard and Rory. You sound a lot like my friend, Naruto Namikaze. Protect him and my sister, please. Snart said, actually begging. Done. Naruto said firmly, how are you getting this information, Metamorpho? He thought as. I'll tell you where he is or was, but promise me. I don't beg, but if I have to save Lisa I will. Leonard said as Naruto nodded, the abandoned part of town. Black building. He said. Later. About time you showed up. Metamorpho said with a smirk. This ends now, Rex, you're not leaving here. Naruto said, holding the Gamma Blaster, and blasted Rex, and as he aimed the blaster at the man who struggled to change his state he lowered the gun and ran him back to the cell Cisco made for him originally. I knew you didn't have it in you. I'll get out again, men like me do, and I'll start all over again. But this time, I think I'll go after Caitlyn Snow, or even Kushina Namikaze or her husband. I know all of your friends. And allies, Godspeed, and I will kill them all, and there's nothing you can do about it. What you gotta say about that? Metamorpho asked. I'll stop you, my way, Naruto said firmly. Then prepare to get flowers, as people like you always fail them, go ask Batman. Metamorpho said with a smirk. I will kill everyone you care about before your eyes, and then I'll kill you when the last spark of resistance is extinguished from you. He said. Naruto just left the room. Till we meet again. Metamorpho shouted with a smirk. Few hours later. You failed, the Reverse Flash said to Rex. Oh please, he won't kill me, Rex said as he saw the man take out his cure. Take it, the Reverse Flash said, opening the cage. Finally. Rex said, injecting the vial into him, and then his body began to change erratically. What's happening? He said, yelling in pain. Did you really think I would give you a cure? You failed to beat Godspeed, like I knew you would. That was a vial of irradiated poison, the Reverse Flash said with a smirk. We had a deal. Rex said as he coughed out BLD. And I lied, the Reverse Flash said with a smirk. Wait. Rex said as his body turned into dust. With Naruto. Are you sure you want to do this? You just got kidnapped. Naruto asked as they approached Whirlpool Inc. I do, I have to face her. All the time I was bound to that chair I thought about my life. I thought about how my relationship with my mother is hard, and I need to make it better. Caitlyn said as she didn't want him to know the truth. If you're sure, Naruto said as they walked into Carla's office. Caitlyn tried to talk, but Carla embraced her as soon as she saw her. I thought I was going to lose you, Caitlyn. Carla said, holding her. What happened to you? Naruto asked as his mother and Carla looked a little roughed up. Oh, Carla and I had a differ of opinions. Kushina said as Carla didn't know her daughter was working with her son as a part-time hero. Mom, I need to talk to you about something. Caitlyn said seriously. Do you want him in here for this? Carla asked, looking at Naruto. I trust him with this. Caitlyn said as Naruto had her total faith. Okay. Carla said as one of her eyes turned blue. Few days later. Where's Caitlyn? Barry asked as he came into the lab. Personal business. Naruto said as Caitlyn's mom was learning about her powers her mother informed her she had. What are you looking at? Barry asked as Naruto seemed real focus into what he was doing. I'm looking into a break-in with Rathaway Industries. Naruto said as it seemed way too coincidental for his taste. Why? Snart stole and destroyed the painting. Barry said. That was at a hangar, not the place. Naruto said as he looked at Rathaway Industries' lab and saw all the security was destroyed and the only things that were taken were amplifiers. What's so important about this place, or what was stolen? Barry asked curiously as it seemed like a simple break-in. I keep eyes on the Rathaways, these people are F up, no lie, Naruto said as he hated the Rathaways as Hartley may have been AD head but his parents made him that way. Who isn't nowadays? Barry said as everyone didn't appear to be who they were. I'm just worried about who stole this tech. No one would break into a lab for amplifiers only, Naruto said as that was pretty specific. People break into labs all the time for stuff, basic bad guy knowledge. Barry said as he had seen some pretty dumb criminals. Naruto shook his head before looking at his phone, getting a message from Joe. Wells' house has been attacked. It read. I gotta go. Naruto said, running there as he had been to Harrison's home in the past. Where are you going? Barry said as he was behind Naruto. Wells' house. Naruto said, slowing down so Barry could keep up. Few seconds later. You okay? Naruto asked, checking Harris-san over. I'm fine, Naruto, a little chilly but fine. Harrison said as the cops searched the area. I'll say this, someone got a lot of bad luck. Barry said, looking at all the broken glass. Dude, that's corny. Naruto said as he hated omens. I know who did this. Harrison said with a smirk. Of course you do, and I'm guessing it's the same person who broke into Rathaway Industries? Naruto asked. Yes, it was none other than Hartley himself, Harrison said with a neutral. Later at STR Labs. Hartley Rathaway possesses one of the finest scientific minds I've ever encountered. Harrison said. And your second favorite? Cisco said with a smirk. Oh, for the love of, I'm not the favorite, there is no chosen one. Seriously, this place had way too many nerds, Naruto said as people thought he was the chosen one. Tell me that after we find someone better than you, dude. If you didn't come first we probably would have never gotten hired. Cisco said as nobody could ever do what Naruto could in anything. Yeah, you basically could have had this done all by yourself. Caitlyn admitted. That's not entirely false. Harrison said as Naruto had helped speed up production of the accelerator. Exactly, dude, you could go solo and still be the same. It's Barry we have to watch out for. Cisco said as Naruto rarely needed assistance. Don't start making fun of me again, please. Barry said as he got sick of the teasing. I still love that robot you gave me. Cisco said as Naruto gave him a certain robot. Yeah, a robot that shaved off a good part of Hartley's hair when the laser was turned on. Naruto said, remembering that years ago. That was still awesome. Caitlyn said as she hated Hartley. Soon an alarm was heard from the console. And that should be him. Let me guess, Rathaway Industries. Naruto said as Hartley was a predictable douchebag. Yep, go get him, babe. Caitlyn said, giving him a kiss for luck as he left with Barry. Few minutes later. Are they gonna hear you die? Hartley asked cocky as he knew about their comms. No, they're gonna hear you get your butt kicked. Naruto and Barry said with a smirk. Okay. Hartley said before sending them flying with a sonic blast. Barry ran to the cops and threw their nightsticks. Hartley raised his hands but then he got soaked by a water blast. Dude, since when can you use water? Barry asked Naruto as his hands were soaked. That wasn't me. I think. Naruto said as he looked around and saw Irma who arrived but she shook her head. Hartley was going to blast them but he got zapped by Will and caught him. STR Labs. Hello Caitlyn, never got that wedding invite. Hartley said with a smirk. Shut the hell up. Barry said smacking the back off his head. Naruto grabbed his shoulders and began shaking him violently. Hartley fell to the floor clutching his stomach and began emptying his stomach. Did you have to make him puke? We have to clean that up now. Cisco said as he still enjoyed Hartley's pained face. I think that may have been overkill. How much did you shake him? Caitlyn asked curiously. 1,000 miles of shaking the Naruto said with a smirk. Of course you did, show off. Caitlyn said with a smirk. Take him down, and maybe we can see why our god here got a new power. Barry said, looking at Naruto as Naruto sped him into a cell and came back. Not a god, Naruto said firmly. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Barry said as he still believed he was a god. He is, exactly the same. Cisco said as the scans didn't show anything different. Of course he is. This mystical or is the ninja god getting his powers back? Barry asked curiously. Well, shooting fire hoses ain't that great, Naruto said as he shot out some water. Tell that to Irma and it is when you can mold it. Control it, or shape it to make it look like a dragon. Barry said remembering Naruto talking about some of the jutsu he saw during his life there. You may be a god. Cisco said as that sounded awesome. Dude, I am not a god. Anyone who calls themselves a god is in desperate need of attention, Naruto said seriously. And some say it because they have the power of one. Harrison said as many people had clung to that. You gonna talk to Hartley? Cisco asked Naruto. Yep, been a while since I trashed talked that deech bag, Naruto said with a smirk. Do you ever not smirk? That smirk is like permanently etched into your face. Barry said as Naruto always was smirking. I'm a happy guy, Naruto said with a smirk still on his face. You're a happy god. Cisco said as a knife hit the wall. I'd stop talking. Caitlyn said with her own smirk. When he's getting his powers back, then he is one. He makes Superman seem like me. Barry said honestly. He's still Naruto. Caitlyn said as Naruto was still Naruto to her. Godlike Naruto. Barry said. I am not a god, stop calling me one. Naruto said annoyed. Not fun being teased, is it? Barry asked with a smirk, getting him back for all the teasing he did him. F off, second fastest man alive, Naruto said as he went to see Hartley. Yeah, well, at least I don't have the ego the size of the planet Earth. Barry said as he loved that the tables had been turned. Rich coming from the guy with no SEC life, Naruto said with a smirk. Yeah, because I don't just F every girl I like. It's called saving it for the honeymoon. Barry said as Naruto flipped him off, booyah. Barry said, feeling happy he won that round. Pipeline. Hey PP, Naruto said in Spanish, looking at Hartley out of his costume. Hello, Mr. Namikaze, white and gold really suits you. Hartley said in French as he knew who Godspeed was. Yeah, at least I use my abilities for the betterment of others, Naruto said in Russian. Yeah, same old talk, heard it 1,000 times. You're like a broken record. Hartley said in Portuguese. If it ain't broke don't fix it, Naruto said in Esperanto. There's that smugness again. That side of you that says you're better than everyone. Hartley said in Arabic. I just like everyone else, but I know I'm better than you because I don't try to harm the innocent just to slide my ego, Naruto said in Latin. Yes, but we all can't be taught by our trillionaire parents and go to private schools, and be homeschooled by the smartest people on the planet. Hartley said in Romanian. Your parents are the reason you are like this, I know that, but you get to choose the life you live, don't be defined by your past, Naruto said in Japanese. And your parents made you like how you are. Without their minds having taught you, you would be nothing. Everything you are has always been handed to you. You never had to put in any effort in anything, not like us common folk. Hartley said in Albanian. Up until last year you were like me, you have the same thing I had, but let me tell you something, I went to public schools, learned from my parents and from others, expanding my mind to become better to help society. If you were less of a PP maybe people would like you and you'd been liked, Naruto said in Chinese. Why do you care so much about people? Can't you just stop all this preaching about care and equality when you and I both know you have always been everyone's better? You have never had to put an effort in anything in life, you just do it. I had to crawl from the dirt up, whereas you had everything anyone could ever want and do. You honestly think I'm like you? No one on earth is like you. Hartley said in English. No, you're not like me, you had potential and you squandered it with all this anger in your life. You lost your parents, no fault to yourself, and you lost your boyfriend Roderick, Naruto said in English. Don't you dare talk about him, you don't get to talk about him. Hartley said angrily. He left you because of your distancing SHT, you never opened up, Naruto said as he accidentally ran into them when they were on a date when the accelerator was still being built. And you'd know open, wouldn't you? All those times just openly F Caitlyn all the time inside this place when you should have worked. Women, they throw themselves to you. You named yourself correctly, you are a god, as you have everything anyone could dream of having. Money, women and power, it's just your ego, won't let it. Hartley said. My best friend is dead. Naruto said, shutting him up. He lost it years ago, tried to kill me but ended up doing himself in, he said as Sasuke had tried to kill him years ago. And what does that have to do with me? We're not friends, you just don't understand anything, your naivety is astounding. Hartley said firmly as he was always competing with Naruto. I did see you as a friend, you're not the first person who was a total PP to me that I became friends with, I just knew, Naruto said, thinking about Sai and Neji. You see everyone as a friend. Everyone around you, you see as a friend. But you chose wrongly when you decided to see Harrison Wells as one. Just like I did. Hartley said firmly. What are you talking about? Naruto asked curiously. You didn't see who Wells really is. He will turn on you in a flash and even you won't see it coming. I just hope he leaves you in better shape than he left me. Because if you're lucky you'll only be dead. Because every day I have to live with the agonizing, piercing screaming in my ears. And he's hiding something from you, from all of you. Hartley said smugly. F off. Naruto said, walking away, sealing the pipeline. With the others. How many languages do you speak? Cisco asked him. All the romance languages and a few others here and there, Naruto said with a smile. Meaning he knows all of them. Multilingual and godlike, wow. Barry said impressed. One of the only things his tongue can do. Caitlyn said with a smirk. And there's the SEC comment. Why not save it for the bedroom please? Barry asked as those jokes really got old. Who said it was a joke? Caitlyn said, sending him a wink. I knew it wasn't a joke, but the SEC jokes and stuff are getting real old. Cisco said with a sigh. Exactly. Barry said. Anyway, what did Hartley mean? Cisco asked Harrison. I have not been honest with you all. Harrison said guiltily. Hartley warned me there may have been a chance the accelerator may explode, he said, seeing pained and surprised looks from them. What? Naruto said, surprised. His data did not show 100% certainty, just that there was a risk, but it was a real risk. And yet I made the decision that the reward, that, everything we could learn and everything we could achieve, that all of that, simply outweighed that risk. Harrison said. Next time you feel like gambling with our lives, give us a little heads up. Caitlyn said angrily as she left. Did her eyes just flash for a second? Cisco asked. Yeah, she has powers. Naruto said as Caitlyn was creating a trail of ice. Cool. Barry said as Naruto played crickets again, get some new material would you? He asked as Naruto's tricks are getting old. You gonna handle her or you gonna let her keep making it cold as the Arctic around here? Cisco asked as Caitlyn was bringing down the temperature fast. Naruto followed her to the spot where they thought Ronnie died and saw a streak in her hair was white. Are you older than you look? He said, trying to lighten the mood. Hello, Naruto, a different voice said coming out of Caitlyn. Caitlyn? Naruto asked curiously. Yes and no. Caitlyn said. With a smirk. Split coexisting personality? Naruto asked curiously. Kinda. I'm Frost, her other side. Made from a little something our dear old daddy did to himself. Frost said to him. I thought he was dead, Naruto asked her. Nobody knows, I hope he is. Our father did something to himself kinda similarly to my situation. My father was horrible and abusive. Frost said firmly, but a good man was also in there too, she said as she knew Caitlyn's dad truly loved her. I know. Caitlyn told me about him on his birthday and death day, Naruto said as he often held Caitlyn close on those days. But if he was dead, then why can I still sense him? It's a cold connection that I wish he was dead, so I couldn't feel it. Frost said as she could feel it in her very bones he was alive but couldn't tell where he was. How long have you been a part of Caitlyn? Naruto asked. Mid-single digits. Frost said as that was the earliest she could remember. If you've been with her that long, why are you coming back now? Naruto asked curiously. The thing that made me was different than the one used on Katie's dad, Frost said, not knowing the specifics. Was your mom affected in the same way? Yep. Can she still hear me? Naruto asked her. Yeah, she can. Frost said with a smirk. You're also the only warmth that I like, she said, kissing his cheek. Wait, you felt it as well? Naruto asked her. Oh yeah, I felt everything, you naughty boy. Frost said with a smile which soon died. OSHT, come on, she said as Caitlyn's hair returned normal and her eyes went back to brown. Wow, that is still hard to get used to. Caitlyn said as she sat down with Naruto and leaned into him. I don't regret it, she said. Regret what? Naruto asked curiously. Moving on. Ronnie will always be important to me, but you are the love of my life. Caitlyn said as she was at peace right now with Naruto. And I love you, my appealing snowflake. Naruto said with a smile. We still need to help him. Caitlyn said as she wouldn't feel right not helping him. No question. Naruto said with a smirk and soon felt his phone vibrate. OSHT, this is too perfect, he said with a smirk. What's up? Caitlyn asked curiously. Rathaway Industries wants to meet me. Naruto said with a smirk. What? Why? Caitlyn asked curiously. They want to buy my designs for animal prosthetics, Naruto said with a smirk. You'd never sell those, Caitlyn said. Exactly. Naruto said with a smirk. You know, I love it when you smirk and I still wish you'd buy STR Labs, make it great again. Caitlyn said with a smile as she felt a little better. It'll be great because we're here later. Naruto said with a smirk as he kisses her and leaves. That man, Caitlyn said with a smirk. Whirlpool Industries. Mr. and Mrs. Rathaway welcome. Naruto said in a business suit which he hated. Naruto, it's always a pleasure. Mrs. Rathaway said with a smile. Naruto Rathaway Industries has seen your designs you presented for prosthetic animal limbs and we'd like know. Mr. Rathaway was saying till Naruto interrupted him. I won't sell my designs to people with such disgusting views mistreatment and only give a DMN about profit. I won't harm this company or betray my values just to make a quick buck, Naruto said with a smile on his face. Now hold on Mr. Rathaway said. You know where the door is. Naruto said walking away. Oh, and the news didn't expose of your disownment of Hartley, he said as he went to Iris as Godspeed and gave her a written piece on what happened and even video footage. The Rathaways soon left the building and were surrounded by the paparazzi. That was awesome. Naruto said with a smile as he left and put on his Godspeed suit and went to see Iris on the roof with her computer. I really owe you one, he said with a smirk. An interview with Godspeed would be nice. Iris said with a smirk. I know they think you have a connection with us, but prove to them that you are just as good as they are and not as some fangirl. Naruto said with a smirk as he ran off, but not before Iris took a picture of him running. Now all I need is the flash. Iris said with a smile as she was glad to do this piece. Few days later. I don't do crosswords. Hartley said with a smirk as he was on the ground boredly. Read the F thing but. Naruto said with a smirk. Would it kill you to ask nicely for once? Seriously, do you kiss your mother with that mouth? Hartley asked as he grabbed the paper. Rathaway stock dropped 3 points after shocking discovery that CEOs disowned their son for an archaic reason of him being gay, he said in surprise. You're welcome. Naruto said with a smile. Why do you go so far? Hartley asked him curiously. I hate you and yet you went this far for me. Why? He asked him. I basically can't have anger, I don't know why, but negative thoughts, they don't come to me. I want to do anything for anyone, I don't know why. Naruto said as he always felt better being nice. Thank you. Hartley said genuinely. I'm sorry what? Naruto said as he pretended he didn't hear. Screw you. Hartley said with a look. Sorry man, but I don't swing that way, Naruto said with a smirk. Your HRM of women proves that. Cisco said over the comm. How's he still here? Hartley asked curiously. Because Hartley, he is smart and a good friend, and if you'll let me I'd like to be yours. Naruto said as he slipped Hartley a phone number. Who's this? Hartley asked, not recognizing the number. Roderick, I still keep in touch with him. Naruto said as Hartley gave him a look of surprise. I don't know what to say. Hartley said as he truly loved Roderick. Just tell him you're sorry and be honest with yourself. Naruto said with a smirk. I meant never mind. Hartley said, stopping himself as he meant how he'd thank Naruto. With the others. I don't know how you can stand him and be so nice to him, Cisco asked as they all watched Naruto. Nice is who I am, if I wasn't I'd be exactly like Reverse Flash. Naruto said with a smirk. What do you mean? Harrison asked curiously. When I fought him I felt his negative energy and it is kinda sad. What I felt was nothing but anger and jealousy. Naruto said with a sad look. And now he has empathic powers. Barry said with a sigh. I was always an empath dude, Naruto said with a smirk. Oh come on, you had powers before the explosion. Cisco asked curiously. So did she. Naruto said pointing to Caitlyn. Am I the only one without powers? Cisco asked in jealousy. I don't have powers. Harrison said with a smirk. With how smart you are I disagree. Cisco said as Harrison was on another level. Oh hey you guys wanna see something cool? Naruto asked with a smirk and put his hand out and some nearby fountains and sinks sprayed out water and the water went to Naruto and surrounded him. Still think you're not a god? Barry asked as Naruto sent water at his face. Whoa. Caitlyn said as it took shape. And you say I'm the immature one? Barry said wiping his face. The water then took the form of a dragon and even looked dangerously close to alive as its eyes glowed. Frost. Naruto said as Frost came out and froze it before going back to Caitlyn. You are totally a god. Cisco and Barry said together. If he's a god what does that make me? Caitlyn asked curiously. A goddess. Naruto said as he held her. At least to me you are, and my other girls. He said as she kissed his cheek. Easy now, don't want to see another Snozuki PND party. Cisco said remembering the last time he accidentally found them going at it in the labs. You're welcome. Naruto and Caitlyn said with a smirk. If you are going to, please not in the lab or somewhere I go. Cisco said as Barry nodded. Yeah take that stuff home. Barry said. Fine we won't screw in Cisco's lab or Barry's hospital bed. Naruto said with a smirk as the two shared a look of disgust. You touch my office I'll kill you, Harrison said to them. Oh please we dash, Naruto was saying as he shut up as Wells gave him a look. I'll get Heatwave's gun, Cisco said as fire truly was the cleanser. Well then I guess we'll take it home. Naruto said before surprising Caitlyn by picking her up bridal style as he smirked. Let's go. Caitlyn said with a smile. Naruto sped off as he carried her, as they moved Caitlyn leaned her head into his shoulder happy to have him in her life. STR Labs. You two are reaching beyond what I calculated. Harrison said with a smile I need to stay here a little while longer, he thought neutrally as he need to make sure no other instances like the one with Blackout happened. I know right, I never thought I could get this fast, thanks to Naruto's help. Barry said happily. You know I've always wondered, can speedsters share speed or take speed from others or things? Naruto asked curiously. We are still learning what you can or cannot do, Mr. Namikaze, let's take baby steps into the unknown please. Harrison said as he knew Caitlyn informed him about the experiment she did introducing Bar's cells to his. But could you imagine how fast Barry could go if Naruto gave him some of his speed? Wait, wouldn't that make him go into dust? Cisco asked curiously. Let's not find out remember certain things have a limit like consider them both batteries Naruto giving Barry speed might make him explode and Naruto taking power from Barry may temporarily increase your speed but it'll be like taking cheap fuel and putting it in a car, Harrison said as he never knew what energy absorption was like. Too much energy for the battery could make the battery explode, yikes. Naruto said as he understood that. Yes so let's stick with what we are doing, thank you. Harrison said with a smile. That sucks. Barry said shivering a little from the thought of blowing up. Well I say, saving a couple from a burning car fills our quota on rescues for tonight, let's hit the hay. Naruto said with a smile. I agree with Naruto, Caitlyn said with a smirk, Cisco can I talk to you for a minute? She said, pulling him away from the group. I was looking for my tablet at your workstation, and I found this. She said holding the tablet showing info on Firestorm. I can explain, I know you said we should stop looking for Ronnie dash, Cisco was saying on for Caitlyn to cut him off. I never said that. I said we should be careful looking for him. Don't forget it's Stein at the controls. Caitlyn said. Oh right. My bad, Cisco said forgetting that tidbit. Still can't believe we can't track the radiation as frequently, Naruto said as he had been looking for radiation sources and with the occasional spike, Ronnie was long gone. I still can't believe it's your old college professor at the wheel, for him. Cisco said. Martin's old but he can surprise you. Naruto said with a smile. Also despite Ronnie's mind Stein has years of wisdom doesn't really surprise me he's in control, he said with a smirk as he and Stein often got into debates and arguments. Well I say, let's go home and worry about searching for Stein/Ronnie tomorrow. Caitlyn said as she didn't want to waste so much of her time on this as she and Naruto worked for hours a day on this. Naruto, a word? Harrison asked curiously. Yeah, what's up? Naruto asked curiously. Ms. Lair and Ms. Vandam came to me this morning asking if they could join all this. We have their suits, but I need your input for them. Harrison said as he motioned to them and the area around them. Would be nice to have a cop on the inside besides Joe and kinda Eddie, Naruto said as Joe told Eddie he worked with the Flash and Godspeed. And let's not forget Cupid, I mean Ms. I forgot her name. Harrison said as he didn't really look into her. Carrie Cutter, Naruto said. Look, Naruto, they are your friends and lovers, but it all comes down to your decision. Do we make them members of Team Godspeed, or not? Harrison asked as Irma and will have decided to be heroes but they can't do it by themselves. Give me the night to think about it, okay? Naruto said as Wells nodded knowing this might be a difficult decision to make in a moment. Trust. Harrison said as he made Naruto stop, it is that trust you have in others that gives you strength Naruto the belief you have in others inspires people to do good and I know it might seem scary to have them out there with you knowing that death is a real possibility you just need to trust in yourself and in them, he said with a smirk. Thank you, Dr. Wells. Believe it or not, you inspire me to be better. Naruto said walking away. And you don't realize how much you've made me better Naruto. Harrison thought as he wheeled away. The next day. Ugh, Kurama we're up. Naruto said as his pet fox wouldn't stop licking his face. I swear he's cute but not that cute. Frost said as she woke up. Naruto grunted feeling Kurama drop his phone beside him. A message from Joe, someone broke out of Iron Heights last night. He said reading it. Go get, Tiger. I mean Foxy. Frost said giving him a kiss as he got ready at super speed and went to Iron Heights. I swear that's the only downside to super speed you don't get a show, she said with a smirk. You can say that again, sister. Caitlyn said as they switched. He has such a nice butt, Frost said to her mentally. Hell yeah he does. Caitlyn said with a smirk as she had been doing exercises regularly to communicate and trade places with Frost. Why don't we try a hand at the hero game? Frost asked her curiously. Let's get more training in and then we'll talk about that. Caitlyn said as she got ready. Bet Naruto would personally make our suit for us. Frost said with a smirk. I wouldn't mind trying to make it. Make something for us and something that we could use to tease the hell out of him. Caitlyn said with a smirk as she checked out her body in the mirror. You're learning, Frost said to her sounding proud, maybe we should STRP then and there for him when he gives it to us she said wanting to give Caitlyn ideas. Oh yeah, and he can F us like he's been since I took your advice. The world of bisexuality is amazing, well when you're into one guy and tons of girls that is. Caitlyn said as she did her hair. Women are goddesses Caitlyn being worshipped by another woman like you is always amazing, Frost said with a smirk. You got that DMN right. Well here's to another day. Caitlyn said, blowing a kiss to herself in the mirror as she left Naruto's apartment with a smirk. With Naruto. Talk about leaving a trail, Naruto said as they found a substance on the ground. I know, it's all over the place and it lets me outside. Barry said before going silent seeing his father in the entryway of the cell. I think she was on that hill over there it all came from what are you looking at? Naruto said seeing Barry's attention was elsewhere. Dad. Barry said with a smile walking over and holding his father's hand. Naruto shut up immediately as he never met Barry's dad. Word around here is that Parker pulled a Shawshank. Henry asked curiously. Yep, and none of the other prisoners heard or saw anything. Joe said as he knew the people here didn't like to talk to cops and wouldn't tell them anything. Leaves us with not a lot to go on. Barry said as he hated these kinda cases. Well, if there's anyone that can figure out how Parker got out of here, it's you, son. Henry said with a proud smile. I'm gonna kill Thawne, Naruto muttered seriously. Barry, your dad seems like a great man, he said as he was impressed the man was so kind and wise in here. Thanks. Barry said with a smile. Come on, Alan, let's go. The security guard watching him said, pulling him away. You did that for him, didn't you, Joe? Naruto asked, not believing for a second that was a coincidence. The guard owed me a favor. Joe said as he had been here a lot in the past few weeks trying to relieve his guilt as he was the one to put Henry here. Listen, I gotta go talk to him, I'll be right back, he said taking off. That's strange, Naruto thought as Joe seemed like he urgently needed to talk to Henry. Oh God, please don't tell me Joe made him an informant. He thought as in prison that was a bad move as you'd get cornered if they knew it was you. Few hours later with Cisco. How can you speak a dozen languages and still sound like a PP in every one of them? Cisco asked as Hartley showed him a bomb shadow that belonged to Martin Stein. I'll let that pass. And as we're talking, what do you think of Pied Piper, my hero name? Hartley said as he was helping Cisco analyze Martin's cells of when the accident happened, hoping the wall had some DNA to use. Still surprised you want to be a hero? Cisco said as it was kinda ironic. Naruto has a way of changing everyone for the better. I respect him. Hartley said as he now regretted acting like such, and but to him. About time, but how do we fix this? Cisco asked as he wasn't in the genetic field of science. No idea, I have zero clue what Stein had with him that made the merge possible. Without that key we may as well be killing them if we attempt an unmerging. Hartley said as he got a text from Roderick, glad they got back together. Maybe Naruto does. I mean, with how buddy he is with Stein, maybe he can give us a clue. Cisco said, giving a suggestion. Maybe, but Naruto seems busy with other stuff, let's try and lighten his load, Hartley said as he wanted to redeem himself. He's a MSTR of multitasking, remember? Also, while we're talking, I keep wondering, when the heck are any lady speedsters gonna show? I mean, is it just guys with super speed? Cisco asked as there always seemed to be a female version of heroes. You're asking a gay guy about girls? Hartley asked him strangely. Well, my other choices are Dr. Wells, Barry the most single man alive, or Naruto the literal female PHRDS, he made a lesbian bisexual dude. Cisco said as he didn't have a lot of guy friends. Well, I say, give it time, perhaps there is a lady speedster out there, somewhere, we just haven't found her yet. Hartley said, trying to be less of a jackass, and opened up. I hope so. Cisco said. Meanwhile with Naruto. Quantum entanglement, impressive. Or as Einstein would say. Spooky action at a distance, Harrison said with a smile. My dad is capable of this, but his cells seem less erratic, Naruto said as Shauna's cells seem to be moving erratically. Because his power comes from energy. Thanks for the warning about that bullet, by the way. Barry said as he only moved a third of the bullet's speed, stopping it from going through his neck. Your reflexes are better, at least since you are now moving fast enough to get something faster than you, Naruto said as a bullet went around 1800 miles. Yeah, thanks for that. But Shauna, every time we would get close she'd disappear, it was like we were playing a game of Dash, Barry was saying before Caitlyn chimed in. Peek-a-Boo. Come on, can't I name one? Caitlyn said, liking the fun name. How am I, sorry, we supposed to catch her if we don't know where she's going to be? Barry asked. Can't grab her, she might be able to extend her ability, but she might also be able to prevent taking someone with her. Naruto said as when he was sparring with his father and he had him in a chokehold, he teleported only himself. Yeah, tell that to me, when I was hanging from that railing. Barry said as that was not fun. I really don't see any reason from her record, she really ain't that bad. Naruto said as she had only minor crimes. Yeah, I mean do we have to lock up every metahuman? Caitlyn asked as picking up bags of food feeding the prisoners made them seem like animals at the zoo. We can cross that bridge when we come to it. I'm going to stake out the bars Shauna and Clay frequent, wanna come Caitlyn? Naruto asked, as maybe he could find one of them there. Nah, I'm coming, wanna see how much I can drink. Frost said, taking the wheel. I'll take either or, Snowflake. Naruto said as he knew Frost desired more human interactions as she hadn't been able to experience much herself. Oh, and here, he said, giving her a small injection, those are nanites that'll prevent your eyes from shining when you want to go out, he said as he knew a woman with glowing baby blue eyes would cause panic. Thanks, now come on, I hear this place is having a karaoke night. Frost said with a smirk. Let's go and maybe we'll bring back a new friend. Naruto said with a smirk. Oh, just go already. Barry said as the two left with smiles. What's it called anyway? Frost asked. The press box. Naruto said with a smirk. Few hours later. Come on Naruto, get your CC butt on up here. Frost said with a smirk. She only had 2 drinks, how's she hammered already? Naruto asked himself. Come on, Naruto, Naruto, Naruto. Frost cheered as the audience joined in. You are a total badass, how do you get drunk so quickly? Naruto asked curiously as he got on the stage with her. I added a bit of rocket fuel to my drinks. Frost said as she had an amazing healing factor. You are so getting it later, Snowflake. Naruto whispered into her ear as music started to play. Ed Sheeran, perfect duet with Beyoncé. I found a love for me. Oh darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. Well, I found a girl appealing and sweet. Oh, I never knew you were the someone waitin' for me, 'cause we were just kids when we fell in love not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time, but darling, just kiss me slow, your heart is all I own and in your eyes, you're holding mine baby. I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms barefoot on the grass listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it darling, you look perfect tonight. Naruto sang, impressing everyone with his voice. Well, I found a man stronger than anyone I know, he shares my dreams, I hope that someday we'll share a home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. We are still kids, but we're so in love fightin' against all odds. I know we'll be alright this time darling, just hold my hand, be your girl, you'll be my man and I see my future in your eyes. Frost joined in singing just as well. Well baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms barefoot on the grass while listening to our favorite song. When I saw you in that dress looking so appealing, I don't deserve this darling, you look perfect tonight. They sang together before it got to the instrumental. I swear hearing him sing makes me so hot for him, Frost thought with a smirk. It always does for me. Caitlyn said as hearing Naruto sing was like a truly. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms barefoot on the grass while listening to our favorite song. I have faith in what I see now, I know I have met an angel in person and she looks perfect, and he looks perfect. No, I don't deserve this, you look perfect tonight. The two sang as they looked into each other's eyes and smiled before the crowd cheered loudly and applauded them. Few minutes later. Drinks on me, the bartender said with a smile as he appreciated their performance. I need to use the bathroom. Frost said as she drank way too much. Hey, a woman said coming up to the bar greeting the bartender before giving Naruto an appreciative glance. She had a mid-C cup and a round peach. So hey, was that your girlfriend up there with you or one of your rumored many lovers? She asked, knowing about Naruto's so-called HRM. Yeah, she is. Naruto said with a smirk. DMN, she's hot, the woman said as she had been eyeing Frost. She had high C cups, athletic body, and round peach. Thanks Linda Park. Naruto said as he read the sports section on the paper and once saw her face on it. You know my editor would kill me if I didn't tell him you were here. Linda said as her editor wanted a live interview with Naruto Namikaze and knew many of her co-workers mainly Mason Bridge had tried following him and tried to corner him into an interview. So you're not gonna tell them? Naruto asked with a smirk. Nope. Linda said with a smirk, I make my own opinions based on what I see not what I read. Linda said with a smirk. Kinda counterproductive seeing as you're a reporter. Naruto said as he could respect her views as he shared some things in common with her. Yeah. Linda said as she liked reporting truth and often stick to the news. Well, how do you see me? Most reporters think I'm just some man we're giving himself to any woman willing to have section. Naruto asked her. I don't know, maybe I'll interview your friend, Linda said with a smirk. Get her, you get me. Naruto said with a smirk. Oh bonus. Linda said with a smirk. You can bet your peach bonus, Frost said coming back from the bathroom. Let me tell you something. Who are you? She asked not knowing who this was. I am Caitlyn Snow and I do not feel good, said her mind very confused. Okay, she's crashing, Naruto thought as he got some water for her to drink. I'm Linda Park, you two sang better than anybody I've seen on that stage. Linda said with a smirk. Thanks, but this hunk of man meat was the real talent. Frost said nuzzling into him. I will agree with that, you were amazing Mr. Namikaze. Linda said with a smirk. That's not the only thing those lips can do. Frost said with a perverse smile. Oh really? Someone's had one too many shots. Linda said as she held in a laugh as the drunk woman was really spilling her guts. And let's not pretend you weren't undressing me with your eyes. Frost said as she caught Linda earlier when she was on stage. Okay, I'll admit to that. Linda said not even showing the littlest amount that she felt shameful. Pretty sure just about everyone here was doing that. Naruto said as he saw many people checking them out. But there's only one person who's allowed to undress me. Frost said with a lustful smile looking at Naruto. So are the rumors true, is the SEC really that good? Linda curiously asked, hearing all the rumors of Naruto's many romps with women. Why not come back with us to my apartment and find out? Naruto asked with a smirk as Linda licked her lips eagerly. How fast can we get there? Linda asked with a smirk. Oh, you're going to love this. Frost said with a smirk before they went outside and Naruto sped them to his apartment. Oh my god, your go dash, was what Linda was trying to say before Naruto pulled her into a kiss. She feeling the pleasure before shrugging and just decides to go with it. Frost quickly took her clothes off and began helping Linda with hers, revealing her athletic body, as she got behind her and put a hand down in her pants and panties, rubbing her, making her into Naruto's lips as she rubs her melons after taking her BR off. Get red because by the time he's done with you, you'll be ruined for all other men. She said with a smirk before going down and dropping Linda's pants and underwear and began liking her PP and squeezed her soft peach. Naruto began kissing her neck and rubbing her low D-cup melons, making Linda loudly before it became a scream when Frost began fingering her peach. Enough Frost, let's show the only PP she will ever need ever again. Naruto said with a smirk as Frost quit and pulled his pants down to show his PP. Figures, Godspeed would also have a godly pages. Linda said rubbing it with her hand as she looked down at it. That tastes delicious. Frost said as she began eating it vigorously as Naruto kept kissing Linda. Unknown to them the lights were slightly dimming as Linda into Naruto's mouth as he fingered her peach and rubbed her melons. Naruto took his one hand away from her melons and grabbed Frost's head and began throat F her, get a better look. Naruto said as he moved Linda next to Frost, who was hornier watching Frost's throat bulge due to his PP. With ball like these, you could leak gallons. Linda said FNDLNG his ball before taking one of them into her mouth. Frost was fingering herself and Linda's peach as Linda was doing the same. You're gonna fit in just fine. Naruto said with a smirk before grunting as he leaks down Frost's throat. Linda pulled Frost into a kiss, swapping the juice that was in Frost's mouth, tasting it and loving it. The two women were surprised when Naruto effortlessly picked them up and dropped them onto the bed. Woohoo, let's get this F-Fest started. Linda said, shaking in excitement as she spread her legs. Frost got on her hands and knees and shook her peach trying to entice him. Why do you think he has such a giant bed for? She said with a smirk. Let's show her how we screw. Naruto said as he entered Frost's PP, making Linda in disappointment as she wasn't picked. If you want in, how's about getting in front of me so I can lick that PP of yours? Frost said with a smirk. Whatever you say. Linda said with a smirk as she did what she was told. That's a good girl. Frost said before Linda sat in front her face and she began eating her PP out. Oh yeah, keep talking dirty to me. Linda said as she rubs her melons. You are such a SBMSSV woman. Naruto said with a smirk. I can be when I see such an amazing PP and such a hot woman. Linda said as Frost spanked her peach, and SBMSSV people always have so much fun. She said Especially with me, ain't that right, Frost? Naruto asked her and all he got was a loud Oh, yeah, you and God your old destroyer. Frost managed to say before loudly while also making the temperature drop. Oh, you are so lucky, I like the cold. Linda said, feeling Frost's cold tongue, not realizing just how cold it actually was. Frost, we talked about this, I don't want an Arctic room. The cleanup was hard as hell the last time you froze the room. Naruto said, whispering in her ear, spanking her peach. Frost immediately focused on her powers, not wanting Naruto to stop pleasuring her as he threatened to do so if she kept on doing that. You try keeping control when you have a horse-sized PP inside your WMB. Frost said as Linda got off all over her face. Who do you think you are thinking you can talk back to me like that? Naruto said, smacking her peach roughly, I guess I'll have to put you in your place and remind you just who you are. He said as he pulled out of Frost and tackled Linda. Oh, my turn. Linda said with a smirk. She soon lost as Naruto plunged his PP inside her. Naruto had his hands beside her head as she wrapped her legs around him and rubbed his muscles with her hands. Nice pack, what is that, a 6 or a 8? She asked, rubbing his abs. 8. Naruto said as he gained the extra pack when he gained his powers. If this is how you make women feel, I see why they stay with you. You're addicting. Linda said in pleasure. Naruto looked at Frost, who was fingering herself furiously, trying to make up for the lack of his PP inside her. If I want that back inside of me, I need it, she thought desperately. Linda shouted as Naruto punched into her WMB. Oh yeah, SEC with you is like a drag you don't ever want to stop taking, come on Foxy, PND that PP harder. She said in pure bliss. What's the matter, Frost? Naruto said with a smirk as he pounded into Linda. You weren't finished with me, I still need it, please. Frost said, panting hotly. Not until I hear you beg and apologize. Naruto said with a smirk. And not until he pours himself in my WMB. Linda screamed in lust, already lost to the pleasure. I'm sorry, MSTR, I'll never talk back to you again, but I need to feel you inside me, I need your PP to scratch this itch that I can't, please PND my salty self into oblivion. Frost said, unable to handle not having his PP in her. F. Linda screamed as Naruto was pouring his juice into her. Clean her up, Naruto said, ordering Frost. Frost crawled over to Linda, who had her tongue hanging from her mouth and twitching. Poor girl, couple more sessions and she'll be able to go more rounds. Naruto said as Linda conked out, very easy. I'm a good girl, and good girls get rewards. Frost said as she ate Linda's PP, tasting his juices inside of it. That they do. Too bad you're not a good girl, are you? Naruto said as he spanked her peach. No, I'm a very bad girl. For you. Frost said with a smirk before as she felt him prod her holes and rubbing himself against them. Please take a hole, any hole, and fill it up with your PP and give me all your juice. She said, begging him. I think I'll F this hole, and fill both of them up. Naruto said as he shoved himself into her PP before pulling out and shoving himself into her peach, going between her holes after so many thrusts. Yes, F my holes please baby, stuff me full of your juice till it pours out every hole. Frost said beggingly as she didn't know what else she could, as she was helpless to his assault on her body. Naruto grinned as he began vibrating his PP before doing so with his hands as he grabs her melons. Frost's tongue hangs from her head as what was like steam was coming out of her mouth as she loses herself to the pleasure and joy. Tell me Frost, who do you belong to? Naruto asked her with a smirk. You, I belong to you, lover. Frost said with a smirk. I bet you're looking forward to Irma and will joining the team, aren't you? Naruto asked her. Yeah, DMN right, I am, looking forward to the foursomes we'll have, baby. Frost said loudly. I can't tell you how hard it is not to F you, or Caitlyn, whenever I look at this peach of yours in that lab. All those times you bend over to do anything, I just want to tear a hole in your pants and just destroy it. Naruto said with a grin. Same could be said whenever you do your exercises. Frost said loudly as she and Caitlyn just wanted to feature themselves watching him do his exercises half naked. Says the woman who wears yoga pants for her workouts. Naruto said with a smirk as the sweatpants Caitlyn wore hugged tightly against the lower half of her body. I'm so close, please leak inside me, flood my holes with it. Frost begged as she wanted to be desperately filled. Naruto granted her wish and flood her 2 holes. Frost said in pleasure as she let out a fierce orgasm. Thank you, Naruto. I love you. Frost said as she cuddled into his chest. I swear one of these days you'll knock us all up, she said, wondering if she could have kids due to her physiology when she was in control. And I'll be there for you and those children and raise them with you all. Naruto said with a smile. Frost smiled as a tear fell down her face, hoping that future came. Naruto smiled as he held Linda and Frost and they all went to sleep. Next day at STR Labs. Naruto was enjoying a Gatorade as Caitlyn exited the elevator wearing sunglasses and a scarf. Hey! He said to her. So loud. Caitlyn said as her head PND. Frost messed up your system, Naruto said as Caitlyn didn't possess the incredible healing factors Frost did. I envy your ability to not get drunk. I don't remember much of last night. Caitlyn said. I found a love. Naruto said with a smirk. Oh, that I do remember. How can Frost sing better than me? Caitlyn said in jealousy. You probably can, it just needs some practice. Naruto said with a smirk. Oh man. Caitlyn said as she saw Cisco and Hartley sitting in the cortex waiting for them. Who died? She said as they were too quiet and weren't arguing, meaning Doomsday or someone died. We don't know how to fix Ronnie. Hartley said as he was perplexed, and to make things worse he's building up energy, he said as a cell they found was slowly but steadily building up energy. Meaning if we don't find a way to fix them, kaboom. Atomic explosion. Naruto said as he knew when cells or matter kept on absorbing energy it would eventually lead to combustion, and since Ronnie used nuclear energy he would be as strong as a nuke. How long do we have? He asked them. What? I'll be right there. Barry said as he got off of his phone. What happened? Harrison asked curiously. It's my dad, he's been stabbed, Barry said in worry. Joe, I swear, Naruto thought, hoping this was just a random occurrence. Go, we'll handle things here, he said, wanting Barry to be with his father. Thank you. Barry said before he sped off. Listen, from these numbers we have a couple months. One of these days Ronnie's radiation levels will build. In theory, something like a quantum splicer could be used to fix this, but do we have enough time to make one? Harrison said as it was possible to use the tachyon device as it worked on converting energy. We have months, we have to use them. But I don't know if we can get the materials here fast enough. Naruto said as they'd need to build one suitable for radiation. Well, if we put our heads together, we can figure something out. Hartley said as he had to admit working on something to successfully guarantee Ronnie and Stein's separation would be tricky. While I got you here, Naruto, I finally finished Irma and Will's suits. Cisco said with a smirk as he showed 2 full body suits, one navy and one baby blue. I may do a tweak here and a change there but not bad. Naruto said with a smirk. Everyone's a critic. Cisco said in annoyance. Well, if you want, could you try and make me one? Caitlyn asked. And maybe help me with mine, I could use an upgrade compared to what I wear. Harley said. Naruto sped off and gave Caitlyn a gift that was labeled, for Caitlyn and Frost. Caitlyn gave him a kiss on the cheek, seeing a long navy blue leather jacket with what looked like a snowflake and navy blue armbands, black combat boots, and faux leather pants. It's no Godspeed suit but, it's something, honey. Naruto said with a smile. Also, here's a mask, he said as he gave her a navy blue mask with a similar design to the mask Barry gave Oliver. I thought you said you hated domino masks. Hartley said as he was thinking of wearing one. I do, but Caitlyn and Frost trade places so much, people will make a connection. Besides, man, they share the same face, you'd be an idiot not to put it together in public. Naruto said. Yeah, and that's the same you said about dominoes, that they hide the eyes and nose but not the whole face. Cisco said with a smirk. Shut it, Hartley, here you go. Naruto said, handing him some goggles with a tinted lens, one-way lenses built in with a scanner to analyze an object to give you its frequency. It's connected to your gloves, also it'll allow you to see as if you were wearing your glasses, he said with a smirk. Sweet, but you made the domino because you ran out of materials for a better mask, didn't you? Hartley said with a smirk. Shut it. Naruto said as he ran through material quickly. Hartley and Cisco smirk as they high-fived. Oh, almost forgot here. Naruto said as he gave Hartley a small hood and a full black bodysuit. Welcome to the Teen Pied Piper, he said with a smirk. What? No techet out flute? I'm kidding, thanks. Hartley said as he liked the gear. A flute? Cisco said as if he were thinking about making one. You're not making a techet out flute, Cisco. Hartley said as he didn't play that instrument. But it'd go with your name, you know, like the Pied Piper in those stories, you know, with the rats. Cisco said with a smirk as Hartley gave him a displeased look. Well, I hope you all are ready. Naruto said with a smile. Why? Cisco asked curiously. You'll see. Few hours later. What the hell, are you a cop or something? Shauna asked in front of the car. Something, hot stuff. Naruto said with a smile behind his mask. Kinda dumb to be out of the car, dude. Irma said, looking at Clay, who was beside the car. Yeah, man, though it wouldn't matter much. Will said, dragging her hand on the wall, making small sparks of lightning. Put the gun down now. Thea said as she used a slight voice modulator. Or see what a techet-up robot can do. Cisco's voice came from the Mecha Kyuubi suit containing his joy of wearing it. I swear I should have torched that thing. Naruto said as he knew Cisco would never give it up. You'll have to catch me first. Shauna said, not willing to just give up. We got you surrounded, dude, come on, it's over. Barry said. Also. Naruto said as a high-pitched sound was heard destroying all the lights. No. Shauna said as she backed up against Clay. Will you come quietly, or will things have to get chilly? Frost said as she froze Clay's car. Get chilly. Cisco said. I'll work on it. Frost said as even she had to admit that sounded weak. I'm not going back to prison. Clay said, grabbing Shauna and holding the gun to her temple. Now all you freaks back the hell up. He said. You won't do it, Parker, you love her. Carrie said, aiming an arrow at him. I loved her when she was normal, now she's just some kind of freak. Now back up or this beach's brains are gonna get splattered all over the ground. Clay said until Godspeed started to have lightning dance around. I said back off. Shauna teleport. Naruto said as he was creating a source of light for her. Shauna immediately teleported close to Godspeed, tears present in her eyes. Barry sped in and punched Clay, knocking him out. You knew he was going to do that, didn't you? That's why you got all of us. He asked, getting a nod in return as Shauna spit on the unconscious man she thought she loved. Few minutes later. Why the F are we eating ice cream on a roof? Shauna asked as she was with Godspeed, Cupid, Speedy, Pied Piper, and Frost. Because I want to talk to you, Shauna, or as my cold friend here has named you, Peek-a-Boo. Naruto said as Frost liked the name Caitlyn picked for her. Why do you all care? Shauna asked, surprised they hadn't taken her to jail. Because we've been where you are, Frost said as she knew how Caitlyn felt. We think you have the potential to do good. If you want to, that is. Speedy said. I mean, you started off better than I did. Hartley said as he attempted to do a lot of bad. Me too. Cupid said with a small smile, I was obsessed with someone after losing a lot of people I thought cared about me but didn't, she said with a smirk. You have the potential to become someone great, like us, someone who can inspire others to do good as well. But this is all your choice, you can choose to be a hero or live a normal life, it's all up to you. Thea said as she believed in free choice. I can only teleport, what good can I do? Shauna asked curiously. My dad can teleport and he does good. The point is that we all can help in our own way, you just need a nudge in the right direction. Naruto said with a smirk, also you agree to help you meet up with a doctor, give up drags, and I'll get rid of your record, he said as it wouldn't be difficult with her crimes. Is that a bribe? Shauna asked curiously. No, it's a promise. Naruto said as everything is a choice. Let's see, I get a clean slate, I get to team up with a world-famous superhero, and I get to help people. Shauna asked, thinking of the perks. Also a job. Thea said with a smirk as the woman seemed like a good barista. Sold. Shauna said with a smirk. Is this the part where we take off the masks, or something? Hartley asked curiously. No trust is earned, not freely given. Naruto said to him. I figured you were gonna say that, I just felt the need to ask. Hartley said as he took off. Here. Naruto said, handing Shauna 2 cards, one with the name Naruto Namikaze and the other Caitlyn Snow. Contact them to be checked out, they're both doctors and show you where to meet, he said to her. Naruto Namikaze. I've always wanted to meet that handsome guy. Shauna said as Frost let out a small laugh. Few days later. Today I want to tell you all something amazing about the goodness inside each and every one of us. We have people out there doing good, saving lives like CCPD, our fire departments, and doctors, but I want to inform you about people who seem to take up the mantle of hero. Godspeed, our city's golden guardian, and his team. The newest addition to him and the Flash are Frost, the ice lady with a frozen touch so cold it burns, she has put out multiple fires and stopped a bombing. Speedy and Cupid, the mistresses in red believed to have a connection to our sister city Starling Vigilante, both leather-clad women, have stopped multiple acts of violence, a few shootouts, and a few rapes. These 2 women are true inspirations. Pied Piper has helped safely break through rubble when a building collapsed and a child was trapped inside. The 2 newest heroes are Surge and Aqua, 2 female heroes, though opposites, seem to work great together, always finding a way to stop bad guys. We've also been getting reports of a 3rd archer, ladies and gentlemen, working from the shadows, stopping very illegal black market deals. And finally our newest female hero, ladies and gentlemen, the hero with a child-friendly name Peek-a-Boo, a woman that can teleport, bringing in people that are wanted into the CCPD precinct. I'm sure the team will grow, but for now we can rest easy knowing our city is protected by these brave, selfless heroes, watching over us. A newspaper byline written by Linda Park said with a large split showing pictures of each hero. Park, this is hands down the best story you posted. You're off sports full time and now working with West will work on getting the Flash. Edward Larkin said as this article was making all the papers they printed fly. That was amazing, how'd you get so good? Iris asked curiously. I know a guy. Linda said as she smiled. Care to give a name? Mason Bridge asked curiously, eating a smear as he thought Linda stumbled onto some strong sources. Nope, now if you don't mind, I have a date. Linda said happily as Naruto walked in with a white rose. For me, she asked. I love white roses, she said as they were a flower she liked. Holy sht your Naruto Namikaze, Mason said as he almost choked on his smear. That's my name the last time I checked, you might want to clean your shirt there pal. Naruto said as he walked out with Linda. Later Iris, he said with a smirk. Who else do you know? Mason asked as he thought she was a basic nobody. What does that have to do with anything? Iris asked curiously. Getting the inside scoop on the Flash and Godspeed is one thing, but that walking talking money bag is something else entirely. Mason said. Yeah, so. I know him. He's a nice guy. Iris said as Naruto may have had his moments but was okay in her book. That guy is news gold. Mason said as he basically tried stalking Naruto. This coming from his former stalker. Yeah, I heard about that. Iris said as she heard Naruto's dad clocked Mason after repeated reports of stalking a few years ago. Yeah, not fun. Mason said wincing as he remembered his probationary PRD after that. The report also said you got on the wrong end of a fox's teeth. Iris said with a small laugh. I swear that fox was a demon. Mason said as he had to get a few stitches. So what's your point? You want me to do what, interrogate him or something? Iris asked, not intending to do it. Come on, his parents have done countless interviews but he only goes to exposes and presentations, imagine what he's hiding. Mason said, trying to arouse her curiosity. That man helped save my dad's life when he got poisoned, so no, I am not going to take advantage of him just to get some juicy story for you. Iris said as Naruto was at the hospital the day her dad was poisoned in prison, immediately doing treatment inside the ambulance. Fine, then how's about asking about this so-called burning man or fire lady? He seems to have some fondness for the impossible. Mason said as he didn't realize it till now Iris had a file with her impossible files and had 2 contact infos on it. He ran them and found one belonged to Barry Allen and N.N, who he now realized was Naruto Namikaze. Yeah, and that's why he and my friend Barry make amazing friends. Iris said with a smile. Yes, Barry Allen, he works with STR Labs, right? Mason asked as he was looking into that after Harrison came clean to the public. I would choose my next words very carefully, as that is treading on very thin ice, Mason. Iris said as when Godspeed told her about the accelerator and meta-humans she decided not to mention STR Labs and simply did bios on whatever person with powers she could find. Are you threatening me, Ms. West? Mason asked curiously, thinking he stumbled onto something good. Stay away from my friends. They are off limits. Iris said firmly as she would stand up for her friends against anyone. Let's not forget, who can fire you? Mason said. Yeah, our boss, and with what happened with Naruto and seeing how this falls into my personal business I can easily file a harassment lawsuit on you for stalking my friends, Iris said with a smirk. You are good. Mason said as he was a little impressed. Cop's daughter, remember? Iris said as she was trained what to say to people in power thanks to her dad. At jitters. Okay, tell me what you think. Thea asked her fellow heroes as she made a drink for them. Cupid's love potion. Carrie said as she liked her drink, it was sweet but still rich in flavor. Frost latte. Caitlyn said as she and Frost did a quick swap, stopping her hair from changing. The Piper's sweetness. Hartley said as he preferred something a little stronger, this was okay. Pure aqua. Irma said as her coffee was a healthy kinda drink. Surge's charge. Will said as her coffee had a lot of energizers from sugar and caffeine to energy drinks. Cisco wrote this one but a flashicino. Barry said, not liking the name. I think the Flash works as a coffee name and hero name, Thea said with a smirk. Thank you. Barry said in appreciation. What's your drink? He asked as besides Nissa, who didn't have a hero name, they couldn't give her one. I've tried some names, how's speedy recovery? Thea asked as hers was a coffee that was quick and easy to make in the morning. Peek-a-Boo, another of Cisco's attempts. Barry said with a laugh. I actually liked that one, a surprising explosion of flavor in your mouth. Shauna said as she liked her coffee. Okay, did we get everybody? Naruto asked, walking in with Linda. Yeah, they all said as they drank their hero-named coffee. How'd you get our likeness right? Barry asked curiously as he heard those were next to impossible to get. I got mad skills. Naruto said with a smirk as he owned them and just gave permission to Thea and Central City to use their heroes for merchandise. I can't wait for you all to read the article I made, it's going to blow all others out of the water. Linda said with a smirk, then saw them take out a newspaper. I sent Edward my first draft yesterday. He said I did a good job, but I thought he was revising it, she said, as articles didn't always get posted immediately. Whatever, we loved it, finally Central City's hearing about the good we do. Barry said even though he wasn't in Linda's article it was because Iris was focusing on writing about him and Naruto. Who knew doing good would feel so good? Shauna said with a smile. I know, right? I've even seen some kids dressing up like me. Hartley said with a smile as it felt nice to be seen as a good role model. And we inspired a Girl Scout troop and multiple classes of women learning self-defense. Thea said as she and Carrie were having each other's back in the field. We are finally showing that there is good in this city, it's amazing. Will said with a smirk. So, where are we on with our flaming friend? Hartley asked as he knew they had a few months. It didn't mean he liked the thought of a walking nuke. Good news and bad news. Naruto said neutrally, good news is we have a splicer, bad news it's uncertain if it'll fully work, he said as they had a prototype ready but trying to get a real fix. Should I step away? This is clearly hero talk. Linda said. Sweetie, you basically made us look like rock stars, you're welcome here. Hartley said with a laugh. I should expand this place, Thea said as this place was smaller than her old club and she was thinking of making it more than a coffee shop. Yeah, with how many people come here this place gets, it's a bit on the cramped side at time. Irma said with a small smile. Thanks for offering me a job here by the way, but I'm good as a cop. She said with a smile. You're welcome. So anything on this so-called fire lady going across the internet? Carrie asked curiously as they were keeping tabs on Iris's blog and other sightings on social media or what people report. I think I know who it is. Naruto said as he had a sinking feeling in his gut, hoping he was wrong. Who? Will asked curiously. Terran Cook. Naruto said, wondering what was blocking his memory of certain people he knew from his past life. Irma coughed, trying not to spit her coffee all over them. Terran. She said, shocked. We're talking about the same girl who's scared of practically everything, right? Will asked, remembering how scared Terran could be of almost everything in the world. She was a little nervous around things, and yeah. Naruto said as he remembered something about her. Wait, wasn't there a fire at her house the night the accelerator exploded? Will asked Irma. Oh yeah, I think someone said. Something about something in the kitchen she tried cooking for the first time. Irma said as she remembered seeing the report as she was still a rookie and needed to do filing. She tried to call Terran and get a hold of her only to find her line dead. So the fire gave her pyrokinetic abilities and apparently she's having trouble controlling them. Naruto said as Terran wasn't one to drop off the grid. Another thing, each report of the fire lady, it shows her getting closer and closer to STR Labs. I think she's scared and trying to find help to figure out what happened to her. Hartley said as he pulled up a list of fires and a few were labeled spontaneous or unexplained in both the area of Terran's home between it and STR Labs. Terran is smart, she might be trying to do something, Irma said as Terran isn't the type to sit and wait. So we're dealing with a flaming Ronnie that could pop his top and blow up the city and a scared girl with fire powers that can literally set anything ablaze. Will said as she saw the fires Hartley highlighted and saw they burned a lot down. Better never let Mick meet her. Naruto said as he didn't want to know what the pyromaniac would want to do to a woman that made fire. A woman that can control lighting, one with water and one with fire, what's next? Earth? Carrie asked them. Well, let's get to work. Naruto said seriously. Central City. If a person were to look at Central City from space, they'd be able to pick up on two ever-growing heat sources. I can't stop it, I can't stop it. A dark-skinned woman was rocking herself as she had her head against her knees as the very air burned around her. I need help, Ronnie said as he was on the pursuit of a colleague of Martin Stein. We need to go to STR Labs, a voice in the back of his head. You're right. This is getting worse, Ronnie said as Naruto was as smart as anyone. He knew he was about to leave until he spotted his colleague. Young man, are you lost? The man asked. Ronnie's mind began to have conflict and tried talking to the man only to burst into flames. The next day. Okay, so our decision to let Ronnie roam free seems to have come to an end, Harrison said, looking at the report of a man in critical condition due to the Burning Man. Stein, what have you got yourself into? Naruto said to himself, worried about Ronnie and Stein. They're growing more unstable, we need to find them, Hartley said as the cell they had from when they fused was the only indicator they had. Using his powers might speed up the clock, Naruto said, making everyone nervous. How fast would that cut our time? Carrie asked as she and Thea weren't much use for a fight with the unstable man, and any pain they caused him may speed up the clock. I say we look for places with signs of increased heat. That should work, right? Cisco said as he was scanning around for heat sources. We can't use the Geiger counter, we move too fast, Naruto said as Barry picked up a Geiger. Why not look in places where homeless people live? Like under bridges and stuff, could that help? Will said as there was no way. Ronnie, in his state, was stable enough to hide and no charges were made between his and Martin's accounts. Why am I getting a reading of a source of immense heat right outside the building? Cisco asked, looking at the scanners. How do people keep knowing to come here? Harrison said as he didn't want another blackout incident. It's Terran, oh my god. Irma said, looking at her friend's state, seeing she was basically living fire. Irma, stay here, you're back up, we don't know what water could do to her, it might kill her, Naruto said as he didn't want to know if putting out Terranese fire meant it'd kill her. Why not just go out yourself and just talk her down like you always do? Barry asked him. Because it's been a year since this has happened to her and she was easily startled before that, Naruto said as he looked at his suit. Yeah, but she knows you, right? Thea asked curiously. Okay, I'm going, Caitlyn said as Frost took over immediately. Oh no, you're not. Fire versus ice, not a good thing, Naruto said firmly. Oh, don't get your panties in a twist, I'm gonna lower the temperature around you to dampen her flames, Frost said as she had Cisco scan her temperatures and saw she was burning a good one. Someone hurry up and do something, Irma said angrily. Naruto put on his suit and sped out there to her. Ms. Cook, do not be afraid. I won't hurt you, he said, only for Terran to blow up immediately. Right, she's easily startled, he thought in slight pain. Gee, Godspeed? You have to help me, I'm scared, Terran said as her flames expanded. Okay, being Godspeed right now, Naruto thought. She needs a friend, not a man behind a mask, he thought, taking off his mask. Terran, it's me, it's Naruto, he said softly, trying not to startle her. And Naruto? Terran said as her flames dimmed slightly. Yeah, and I know you're afraid right now, but I need you to calm down, Naruto said, seeing the fearful look in her eyes. Terran, there is a trick to using powers like this, ones that run on emotion. You just need to take a breath and let it all go, he said as when he was young he wished he knew that whenever he gave into Kurama's chakra. Terran nodded as she closed her eyes and took a deep breath and released it calmly as she thought happy thoughts and calmed down. That's it, you're doing great, Naruto said, watching as the flames began to go away. Terran sighed as she looked at her hands and saw her normal skin and not flames, revealing her high DD cup melons, curvy body, and plump thick peach. Good to see you again, Naruto said, trying to be a gentleman and not stare at her revealing body. Good to be seen. Do you have any clothes? Terran said with a smile before covering herself as her clothes had a few openings as they had been burned into. Yeah, Naruto said with a smile. Few minutes later. There's an emergency release in there. Naruto said with a smile as Terran was in a special cell she wanted to be until they could get her a dampener for her powers, and everyone agreed due to her powers' nature but still didn't like locking her in there. Thanks for the new clothes, these don't have holes that show my goods. Terran said with a smirk as they laughed a little. We are going to train you, but first we have to help you learn how to control your powers, so a dampener is being made for you. After that we're going to call your parents. They've been worried sick. Irma said as a friend's voice seemed better than hearing a complete stranger's. Thanks. Terran said happily. Guys? Thea said as someone just walked inside the cortex as a woman with red hair wearing a dark purple tight full bodysuit walked in. Bet? Cisco asked eyeing her. Hey Cisco, Bet said with a smirk. Someone mind filling me in? Hartley asked as this was confusing. Maybe later, right now we have a problem. Bet said seriously. Ugh, it's going to be one of those days. What is it? Thea asked as this was basically the new norm. Eling. Naruto said as he walked in, and he's here for her and Ronnie/Stein, he said as Eling saw them as full military-grade weapons. That guy doesn't give up, does he? Cisco said. No, was the response of Naruto, Bet, and Harrison. He's been monitoring Clarissa's house, probably left over radiation from when Ronnie went there. So now it's a race to find Ronnie/Stein before he does. Barry said as he didn't like the general. No, we have to drop to his level. Naruto said, confusing everyone, Hartley, how good are you and Cisco if I used a remote flash drive on Eling's work. Naruto said as he only got stuff on what he did to Grodd and Bet. Pretty good I'd say, but it might be difficult to hack Eling's server. Cisco said as Eling had access to high-grade servers. Don't we know a pretty good hacker? Thea asked having a smirk on her face. Felicity already F with the government in college, Naruto said as he asked Felicity a while back to help him with Eling. Then what can we do? I mean, it's not like we can just go right into their servers. Hartley said as the military was state-of-the-art and had dozens of people doing system checks on their software. What if we could? What about a Trojan horse program? Naruto suggested. Can we think of a solution soon? Every minute we waste is 1 minute Eling gets closer to them. Caitlyn said in worry as she was with Naruto when he found out what Eling did to him and knew Eling would do the same if not worse. Well, if we did the Trojan horse it'd have to be one heck of a piece of malware. Cisco said as he knew this would need to be some piece of work. But how could we deliver it? We can't just walk into his base, can we? Cisco asked as Naruto or Barry needed to punch in numbers and swipe IDs at multiple or certain doors, and even if they phased inside they didn't know the floor plan as military sealed their blueprints for bases. I'll do it, just focus on making the virus as you look for them. Harrison said, surprising them all. How the hell is he gonna get in PRD? Irma asked curiously. Eling sees me as a not-so-large threat and also a valuable asset. Harrison said as getting inside would have been the easy part. But the challenge is getting back out, you know that right? Will said as it wouldn't take Eling to figure out Harrison was involved or doing something. Let's focus on Eling later, we have an atomic explosion to stop first. Naruto said as the city took priority, let's check under bridges, look in places where homeless people live. It's as good a start as any, he said as his parents had to help the homeless fundraisers and charities and they always found them in abandoned buildings or under bridges. You guys search me and Hartley will get started on the virus. Cisco said as they were gonna call Felicity if she could help. Naruto would have said more but his phone rang and when he saw the caller ID he froze in anger and answered, "What do you want, Eling?" he said, giving Hartley and Cisco looks to hack his phone to trace and put it on speaker. Oh, nothing much, Mr. Namikaze, just ways to keep my people safe from threats. Eling said, everyone knowing he was smirking on the other side of this line. You're a true patriot, you disgusting sack of SHT. Naruto said angrily. Still angry about your pet monkey, I see. Eling said, talking about Grodd. Just hurry up and tell me what you want. Naruto said as he did not want to hear his voice any longer than he had to. I'll cut you a deal, Mr. Namikaze. I know who you and Mr. Allen are. Eling said smugly. What did you do? Naruto said, glaring at Berry. Mr. Allen made it surprisingly easy, as he was seen in 2 cities at 2 close times impossible for travel. Eling said as he had monitors in Central City. What the hell do you want? Naruto shouted furiously. My assets. Eling said firmly. Please, I have enough info on you with Bet to put you in an awkward position with Uncle Sam, Naruto said with a smirk. And what makes you think anyone will listen? Eling said. Do you not realize who you're talking to? Naruto said as people knew he was very credible. Yes, a man with many lovers, such as Lisa Snart, Linda Park, and Sapphire Stag, and then there's your mother the assassin. Wonder how people will react to that revelation. You do anything to them and I will tear you apart. Naruto said furiously. Unlike you, Mr. Namikaze, I am not afraid to take risks in order to better our soldiers. I will get what's mine, and you can't stop me. This is war, and there can be casualties in war. Eling said, hanging up. Naruto shouted as he threw things off the table. He hurts them and I will kill him. He growled angrily. Thanks for the love. Bet said with a smirk. How's he know that stuff anyway? Berry asked curiously. Well, either someone from the disbanded league wants to kill my mother or have her suffer, or Argus got the info and handed it to Eling. Naruto said as he was wondering if this was Waller. Both theories are correct, beloved, Nissa said, walking in, spooking Cisco. God. Cisco said as he held his heart. I hate assassins. He said, annoyed. Merlin. Thea said as she was sure he was involved. Yes. Nissa said, confirming her thoughts. So this is the wife, good pick. Will said, checking her out, as did the other girls as Naruto told them about her. Yeah, later, you said both were correct. What did Waller have? Naruto asked her. Apparently she knew about Mr. Allen when he ventured to Starling City, as he is a person of interest as he worked directly in this lab after his coma. Nissa said as Argus took special interests in people they thought they could use or manipulate. God, I hate smart people. Berry said, feeling a little guilty. Least it wasn't Lila who told her. Cisco said, trying to ease Naruto's nerves. No, it was Waller who found out, and that is much, much worse. Naruto said as they were being overwhelmed. So what now? Bet asked him curiously. We fight back. Naruto said with a smirk. But how? Isn't blackmail like Waller's thing? If we do something, what's stopping them from attacking the people we know? Berry asked as he didn't want Joe and Iris in danger. I may have an idea, but it is borderline insane. Naruto said seriously. We're in. Everyone said seriously. So what's first? Dealing with them or going after Stein/Ronnie? Cisco asked curiously. Both will need to be precise if we're gonna do this. Naruto said with a smirk. We need 3 teams, he said with a smirk, 1 for Argus, 1 for Eling, 1 for Ronnie. Will I dash? Cisco was saying. No, Cisco. Naruto said as Cisco was going to want to join in again. Berry, Thea, Cupid, you 3 go to Starling. Heard Waller made a home there for Argus. He said as he kept tabs on the woman. Irma, Frost, Plastique, and Peek-a-Boo will handle Ronnie, he said as they were the best team for Ronnie, me, Will, Hartley, Nissa, and Harrison will break into the government, he said simply. Well then what do I do? Cisco asked. You'll monitor comms. Team 1 is gonna handle deleting information Argus has on all of us, Team 2 is going to try and disable Ronnie from doing what he's doing and before he goes off, and finally Team 3 we need to cripple Eiling's operation, destroy all his files and research and make all his illegal SHT public if possible. Naruto said as doing this was basically insane. Wow, so I've basically become Felicity. Cisco said before shrugging. Better than nothing. He said with a smile. Don't be harsh on Felicity, man, the arrow would be dead without her on more than one occasion. Barry said as there was a lot of strength in the petite blonde. Let's move, NMA, please watch over Terran A and see to all of her needs. Naruto said to his robot, who nodded. Of course sir, glad to be of assistance to anyone. The robot said as it walked to her cell. So on a scale to 1 to 10 how F are we if any of us fails? Hartley asked as two organizations of the government and a walking-talking merged nuclear man. 100, Naruto said as they were dealing with a lot and a lot could go wrong. I believe we will succeed after all, it is your plan, beloved. Nissa said with a smirk. I hope so. Naruto said as he knew Barry could get in and out of Argus easy, but he was sending Speedy and Cupid as backup in case he needed a distraction or got caught. He was sending Frost mainly because she could drop the heat of Ronnie, and because Ronnie inside there might recognize her. Irma, Plastique, and Peek-a-Boo were there as a precaution, and finally he and Harrison would go into Eling's base while Nissa, Hartley, and Will were there to break them out if things went wrong and monitor the progress on the flash drive Harrison will use on Eling's computer, delivering a virus giving Cisco a window to download files and make certain things Eling wanted to keep hush-hush public. Let's get to work, Harrison said seriously as they got started. Starling City. I swear how much stuff is there. Barry said as Naruto gave him a list and to use it to search for keywords as Argus focus on full names. A lot, play this right and we'll all be good. Thea said as she had to call Oliver and ask him about Argus and had Felicity helping as well, working on their backup servers. How are you doing in there, Barry? Cupid asked as she was using some high-tech goggles to see inside the building. Leah, sorry, rat ran across me. It's a little cramped in here, but I'm doing good. Barry said as the server room was tightly compact and was very hot. Just hurry up, man, Waller is a danger. She can say whatever the hell she wants but without proof is may as well be a bunch of CRP, Thea said firmly. Okay, though can we talk about installing cooling things in these suits next time? DMN, I'm burning up. Barry said before he got a ping. I got it. He said with a grin. Then delete it, man, and install the virus. Thea said, wanting this to be done with. Done, and done, thank you all for the hacker skills. Barry said with a smirk before leaving to meet the girls. We had the easy job, the others are a completely different story, Cupid said as Argus was simple compared to what the other two teams had to deal with. Man, are you soaked? Thea said as Barry was taking off his suit. Yeah, it was hot in there, phew, and the rats were hell. Barry said, wiping the sweat off of his head. Cisco, we're good on our end, how are the others? Thea asked him curiously. Not so great. Cisco said over the comms. With Team 2 in Central City. How the F is he not cooling down? Irma asked as she and Frost were blasting a flaming Ronnie. Nuclear power plants usually have radiation cool in tubs of liquid nitrogen to prevent overheating. Ronnie is about equivalent to that, and as cold as I am it's not continuous, Frost said to her. Maybe we are doing this wrong, let's try talking to him like Naruto would. Irma said as this cooling down wasn't working. Naruto? You know him? Ronnie asked as his minds recognized the name. Yeah, tough guy, were his friends. Peek-a-Boo said happily. He's calming down and cooling down, keep it up girls, it's working. Cisco said, getting the readings from Ronnie. We are here to help you, Professor, we think we have a way to separate you. Irma said calmly. The other one, he knows you. Ronnie said, looking at Frost, recognizing her slightly. Listen, Professor, Clarissa is worried about you. We all are, please come with us. Frost said, giving Plastique a look as she was about to set something to blow to knock out Ronnie but stopped her. Help us. Ronnie said, making everyone calm down. Well, I'm gonna check on Team 3. Plastique said, wanting to see how it went down with Eling. Team 3. I hope you know this is pure asinine. Naruto said to Harrison as they were being checked and scanned. I agree, but it does feel good to be of some use. Harrison said with a small smirk. I swear we need to destroy everything Eling has. Naruto thought as he knew he destroyed all the information the man had on Bet via computer, but he didn't know if there were any hard copies remaining, as Eling wasn't dumb enough to keep all his hard copies in one place, sadly. I am worried. He is prepared for, Ronnie, what's not to say he has things prepared to hurt you. Harrison said, as with Eling knowing who Barry and Naruto were meant he was prepared for Godspeed and the Flash. Eling sees me as too great an asset to kill. Naruto said, as with his genius Eling would try and blackmail him some way. Outside. I swear. Hartley said, a little afraid of Nissa as she completely immobilized a man twice her size. Get to work, fanboy, Nissa said as Hartley's costume looked way too similar to Oliver's. I'm not a fanboy, and it would be nice if you would ask nicely, MDM, Hartley said as he got to work linking up to the server connecting to Cisco. Wow, they need to make better servers, this is fossil-like. He said with a smirk. Okay, this'll be difficult. We need to find Ronnie's file since it stretches to a year and Barry's for 4 months, but the army uses code names for their files, so it'll be hard to find them all. That'll be easy. This stuff is like Stone Age compared to the new servers. Guess someone never thought to make them better. Hartley said with a smirk as he got in easy. I swear I thought Naruto said these things would be tough, he said with a confident smirk. Always expect the unexpected. Are there any buildings taking more power than the server room here? Sometimes the military may have a private, more secure server somewhere, Nissa said as when she was young she broke into NORAD and the Pentagon. That would explain a lot of things. I'm only getting parts of the information. Hartley said as he was only finding bits and pieces. This is a feint, Cisco, she's right, this information is CRP, he said to him. Found it. Cisco said as he found a building that took a lot of power and was letting out a lot of heat. Let's go then. Will said running past them. Why'd we bring you exactly? Last I checked, you fried tech or shut it off? Hartley asked curiously as frying the server might not work if its memory card or cards could be retrieved and were intact. Because I can fry this SHT if worse comes to worse. Will said with a smirk. Naruto believes she can release an electromagnetic pulse, Nissa said plainly. Oh, I thought she was going to say she could talk to Tech. Hartley said as Tech often got fluctuations around her. I wish. Will said as that'd be a cool power. With Naruto. Ah, the two greatest minds on the planet. Eling said as Harrison and Naruto walked in. Hello, General. Harrison said. Naruto quickly moved and placed a small flash drive into Eiling's computer, uploading some spyware and a virus. Where are my assets? Eling said with a superior smirk as he left his desk. I swear he's making this too easy, Naruto thought. We are in the process of looking for them. Harrison said. That's too bad. Eling said as he tossed up a grenade-like device which broke into a million pieces which went to Naruto. Ah! Naruto said in surprise-filled pain. See, Godspeed, Firestorm is the main dish, getting you is just the gravy that goes on top. Eling said with a smirk. Naruto. Harrison said in worry, wanting nothing more than to murder Eling right then and there. With Hartley. Calm down. Hartley said to Nissa as she looked ready to go in and murder everyone in the base. But he's hurting him. Nissa said as she heard Naruto's scream and winces of pain over the comms. I know, and it's bad, but we have to stick to the plan or everything goes to SHT. Naruto is a strong person, he can handle this. Hartley said, having faith in Naruto. How much longer do you two need? Will asked, wanting to go in. Herself. And, we are done. Yes, got it. Hartley said with a smirk. We got it, hopefully. Cisco said as they deleted months of information Eling had on everyone on the team and metahumans. Double checking, this server is connected to everything. Yahtzee, we are done. Hartley said happily. Good, now get out of my way so I can murder Eling. Nissa said as at that moment she was picked up by Barry and brought to the lab along with the others. Hey, babe, ow. Ow. Easy. Naruto said in a hospital bed with Caitlyn pulling the needles out. Gah, this is like the time I stepped on a sea urchin. Cisco said as he got a look from Naruto, only much worse, he said as that was easy compared to what Naruto is going through. Can't you phase? Bet asked him. Never tried my whole body, and with these things piercing my skin I'd most likely cut myself even worse. Naruto said as he was in a lot of pain. Well, let me speed and get them out. Barry said to him. Oh no, you don't, this needs a doctor's precision, you try and they may get worse. Caitlyn said as this required a gentle touch. We did our jobs best we could, but one slight problem, we don't know if he had any hard files. Naruto said as he was gonna get them, but Eling immobilized him with the needles before he could tear the army base apart. You mean these files? Harrison said with a smirk, holding the flash drive. I swiped it while Eling was busy gloating, he said as while Eling stood over Naruto he used his speed to check the man's office and other files when Naruto had blinked so he wouldn't have seen him move. Never doubt the man in the chair. Naruto said with a smile which Harrison returned. Few hours later. You're still here? Naruto said as he was walking to the bathroom as Caitlyn said he should stay the night to recuperate. Yes, I work when I'm worried. Harrison said as he was adding pieces to the splicer from his tachyon device. I wanna ask you something while you're here. Naruto said, getting his attention. What is it? I wanna reopen STR Labs, Naruto said, surprising him greatly. What brought this up, Naruto? Harrison asked as he didn't think much of STR Labs as it was paid for nearly decades. The work we do here is great and I know we can do a lot more. Naruto said as this place meant something. Same could be said for your company, the things you and your family make are like things of the future. Harrison said as many of Whirlpool Industries tech existed in the future already. Yeah, but this is where I started and where I met all of you, Naruto said as this place brought joy to him. Are you asking me to give you STR Labs? Harrison asked curiously. No, I want to reopen it. Naruto said as he paid the fines, got rid of them fences as the land was now considered safe. Naruto, STR Labs is still a company that can do good, something I know you and everyone else here can do, Harrison was saying until Naruto interrupted him with a happy look on his face. I believe in you, Harrison, just like I believe in this team. Naruto said with total resolve. What more do you need to get things ready? Harrison asked as Naruto basically rebuilt the whole building already and the health inspector did come and give them an A for the building structure, and Naruto also took the job as the janitor, keeping the place clean after the last janitor stole from them. Just the okay on when we can reopen, Naruto said as he had this in the works for a long time. Okay, we will discuss this with the others, but what are we gonna do about that when we reopen? Harrison said as he pointed at his and Barry's suits on the mannequins. Naruto took out a remote and pressed a button as the suits were hidden and made the space look like a brick wall, hologram combined with a force field, he said as with as many people that had found this place and they had imprisoned it would have been a good idea to hide the suits. I swear you never cease to amaze me. Harrison said with a proud look on his face. Hey, it's what I do. Naruto said as he walked away going to check on his animals. Harrison sat there in his chair for a moment before taking out his phone. Hello, yes, it's me. I need to change something in that item I gave you. Also, I need you to have something done for me, he said with a genuine smile. Next day. God. Naruto said as he was watching Caitlyn take Ronnie's vitals. Hello, old friend. Ronnie said to him. Stein. Naruto asked as he felt like he needed to in this situation. Yes, mostly. Stein said with a smile. I've seen your scans, your cells are trying to forcibly break apart since you and Ronnie were merged in such a way your minds are panicking from the invasion of the other. Naruto said as he brought up a picture of a newly acquired cell. Is there a way to unmerge without death or causing a meltdown? Stein asked curiously. A quantum splicer, but there's a catch, Naruto said to him. If we use the splicer we can safely separate you two, but the energy the two of you have may be divided as well, and since your cells are trying to stay together while trying to rip itself apart, it'll always longing to be whole like all matter, Naruto said to him, explaining why even though his cells tried to separate them they're still in this state. So I would be separated, but the chance we could unite again could happen. Stein said to him, following his logic. Yes, but you need to know that since you two make up one being, you'll be linked to one another, Naruto said as he showed him a brain scan of his current mind. Anything is better than being a walking nuclear bomb, Mr. Namikaze. Stein said to him. Try to. Naruto said as if the two were separated they'd build up energy and sooner or later would detonate. You and Ronnie need to link up every so often, otherwise we have two nukes instead of one, he said, as this would be weird for them both. Of course, Naruto, but please just get us back to normal. Stein asked him. I'll do my best. Naruto said, deadly serious. Later. What are our chances now? Naruto asked Hartley and Cisco as they all worked on the splicer and played out projections of what would happen. So far we have a 75% chance of him going critical, Hartley said as the splicer was still faulty. We need to hurry, with how his temperature is rising he could have at least another day if not hours before he explodes. Naruto said as he could get them out the city and escape the blast in moments when they reached that point. What if we're looking at this wrong? What if instead of the splicer we fix them? Cisco said, making them look at him curiously. What? Hartley asked. Think about it, their cells are in a state of flux, but what if we calm both hosts down, calming them like making their cells less erratic instead of them both panicking, Cisco said as both men were frightened and scarred. How would we do that? Bombard their cells with what? Hartley asked, wondering where he was leading this. I'm not talking about science, I'm talking about people they care for, Cisco said, giving Naruto a look. Cisco, what exactly are you saying? That we talk to them to unfuse? Naruto asked him. No, but if we can calm them down, chances are the splicer may work better with their cells in a less violent state, Cisco said, throwing it out there. And how exactly are we supposed to keep them calm that long? Hartley said as they he were very nervous and internally panicking, as everyone could tell. I have an idea. Naruto said, picking up Clarissa and bringing her there. Monitor their cells, he said, taking out a small syringe that had a nanite to monitor cells. Martin. Clarissa said as she looked at the man before her, wondering if her husband was still inside and could hear her. Clarissa. Stein said as he now had tears on Ronnie's face. F me, it's working, Hartley said as the cells were still erratic but calmer. Martin, if that's you, what's my favorite color? Clarissa asked him. You could never decide, so you always picked stripes. Stein said in certainty. Go man. Naruto said, getting Cisco and Caitlyn. What are the chances of us making a mushroom cloud now? Naruto asked Harrison curiously. Less than 10%, Harrison said, impressed by Cisco's idea but knew he got it from Naruto, as Naruto always preached about understanding and how a gentle touch could go a long way. Good, now let's keep them calm and get the splicer. Naruto said as this was probably still gonna SCK as he placed the splicer on him, them and ran them out the city and into the Badlands. Is it supposed to tickle? Stein asked, feeling the device beginning to do its job as an orange light appeared before Ronnie's body and soon Martin Stein appeared. I thought Naruto was saying before a small explosion happened, sending him flying. Okay, don't want to go through that again. Ronnie said, picking himself off the ground as he and Stein were blown apart. It's good to see you two again. Naruto said with a smile. Few minutes later. This is so creepy. Cisco said as Caitlyn was running tests on both of them and they had everything in common from brainwaves to temperature to even their heartbeats. I hope that's all because Ronnie has a thing for pizza, and as I remember you hate pizza, Professor. Naruto said with a smirk as Martin had a more refined taste. Hey, Kate, Ronnie was saying before Caitlyn pulled away. We need to talk, Ronnie. Caitlyn said seriously as everyone besides Naruto left the room. What happened to your ring? Ronnie asked her curiously. Ronnie, when I thought you were gone. Caitlyn said as she felt pain just saying dead, and Naruto woke up from his coma. He was there for me every day when he found out, she said, feeling much guilt about the situation. You two got back together. Ronnie asked as he was able to put the pieces together. Are you happy? He asked her. Very much. Caitlyn said, feeling a weight on her chest. Caitlyn, thank you. Ronnie said, confusing them slightly. I was dead to you, Caitlyn, and most days being stuck in my body it felt like it. He said plainly, I'm glad you were able to move on and I'm happy for you, he said, giving her a hug as she cried a little, feeling worse than before. I'm sorry, Ronnie. Naruto said, feeling like some. Don't, you were there for her, I wasn't. Ronnie said as he and Naruto bro hugged it. Guess we can now really say we were like fire and ice, huh? Caitlyn said as she quickly let out a mist. SHT, that's cool. Ronnie said in excitement. You have no idea. Frost said as she peered out for a moment. Whoa, is that normal? Ronnie asked Naruto. This coming from a guy who had another man inside him. Naruto said, making Frost and Caitlyn laugh. Dude. Ronnie said as they both knew how that sounded. Let's give you a tour of the new STR Labs. Naruto said with a smirk. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 6. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author pyrohelixdrago on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.